And hello, Internet. Welcome to Land Beyond the Mist. I believe we are on session 5 of the new season. That is exciting. And I have, I believe, 4 new players to this season today, which is always fun to get new blood out into the mist.
Four new characters.
4 new characters. But have you played in this season? Is my
Yeah.
yeah? Oh, okay. Well, never mind. 4 new characters it is.
You don't remember murdering me?
Already
No,
ground.
I don't.
Goodness.
For you, that was the day your character was murdered. For me, that was Tuesday.
Another day in his heart.
That's a above average movie. We stand the old Street Fighter movie. Anyway, welcome everyone. I am glad you could join us. Let us start as we normally do, even if some of you are old, and go around the table, introduce ourselves, and see what characters have been brought today, and ask what you've been doing in town. I'm just gonna go in camera orders as I see it on my screen. So let's start with you, Corin. Welcome back, apparently, to season 3. Give yourself a brief intro and tell us who you're playing.
Yeah, I'm Coron, and after the death of my druid, who was plagued by dreams of the apocalypse, I'm bringing another character with a very low ability score caused by some run-ins with creatures most foul. Estroya is a former paladin who was struck down, nearly destroying the entire right side of her body, in defense of her monastery. And she has was saved through the revealing of herself as not just an elf, but an Aasimar. And she has burn marks across her face, and her arm, she can't really move away from her body, and her leg is just like at a weird angle. She's like hobbling and moving a little weird, and she's got one golden eye and one black eye, and she's looking to stop creatures from the beyond from encroaching on this world.
All right. A striking figure you must be for those in and about town. But while you're here, you've been helping out or doing something. Maybe you're not helping at all, but what has Estroya been up to in the time since they have left the boat behind and joined Ansham here?
So in her time not fighting, Estroya was a librarian for the monastery she was a part of, and she's been here spreading knowledge to those who would seek it, I think.
Okay, you've been spreading knowledge. What does that look like when you spread knowledge throughout the city?
So I think it just has to do with, like, if adventurers would be going out and going somewhere to, see what's out there, she would start explaining, like, different threats in the, different biomes back in the mainland. Is that helpful? I don't know, but people probably would pay at least a little bit of money for the services and some idea of what kind of threats may lay in wait for them.
All right. Well, so you are selling knowledge to the people around town. I am sure that in a strange land, in a strange world, away from the comforts of home, the knowledge of what may or may not be out here might be of some value. Why don't you roll me a little bit of gold as you go to work spending your knowledge? Go ahead and roll me D10 for each character level that you possess, which I believe is 1. All right. You take home 6 gold for your efforts in spreading knowledge to the people of Ansham. You work tirelessly to try to, I don't know, I guess make up stories of what what might be out there, but people are buying, and you are ready to go adventure a little bit richer than you were before. Excellent. You will go join your party at the eastern city gates of Ansham as the Lord Commander Hightower fills you and your friends' pouches with rations and gear, getting ready to head off. But before you do, we need to meet our other players. And in camera order, I'm just going to move on to Mr. Underground. Welcome back to the game. Please give yourself a brief introduction and tell us who you are playing today.
Hello, I'm Mr. Underground, both in this game as well as in the Discord server. I previously played a rogue who just got absolutely murdered out in the mist. We've already forgotten about them. Today, I'm coming in as a jokester, a jester, a bard that goes by the name or title, The Bad Joke, adorned in absolutely tattered attire for their profession of a performer. They go around town giving asking around who wants to hear a joke, a copper for your thoughts, a copper for your thoughts. And he just tells absolutely the shittiest ones.
We love bad jokes.
Oh, without a doubt.
All right. Well, does he have a name beyond the bad joke? What do people call him when they need to call upon your character? Is it just, hey, bad joke over here?
Sometimes those unappreciative of his art calls him shitter. Because he might be leaning a bit too much into the literal shitting theme. But I'm not going to do that here. He's only just arrived in town.
A scatological bent to your jokes. I see why they're bad. Well, welcome to the table. You're other than spreading poor jokes across the city of Ansham, what have you been doing after you've gotten off the boat here? How have you been spending your time for or in and about the city?
Unfortunately, he is not well off, and therefore he goes around telling jokes and providing terrible humor as a profession. He is quite literal when he says, a copper for your thoughts. Because he holds out his dangly hat, and the little dangly bell is missing.
I see. Well, you have been, I suppose, attempting to work the corners of the street like any good comedian of the night. Why don't you roll me 1d10 per character level to see how your, I suppose, entertaining has been going.
2.
Sounds right.
Sounds about right to me for the bad joke. Maybe it'll just take some time for people to warm up to you, but as of now, you've only been able to find a meager couple of coins to rub together. You join Astroya at the Eastern Gate. You too receive your rations from Lady Hightower. But it is time to meet our next companion that will be joining you two. Let us move over to Garrett. Welcome back to the Miss. Always good to have you. Why don't you give yourself a brief introduction and tell us who you bring to the table today?
Yes. Hey, I'm Garrett, previously playing Solomon Tebow, the divination wizard. Never completed his journey, unfortunately, but today I'm bringing in Eskar. He is a Earth Genasi. He kind of almost like he's molded from clay, almost. So he is all about the battle. He is former soldier, so he's very much refining his craft, just adventure fighting, and looking for the next challenge that he and everything is geared. Everything is through that lens to where how can he be better than he was, and a better challenge than last time, than the one behind him.
I see. So, you have come to Ansham, the lands beyond the mist, far away from your imperial homeland, to seek a better challenge. What better place could you find to seek more challenges? While you are awaiting your next challenge, tell me, how have you been spending your time here in Ansham?
Well, I think with the fighting in mind, probably bodyguard or some sort of protectorate role. Maybe helping out the city guard, keeping lower level, wildlife out of Ansham.
Absolutely. There is always need for a sword arm for hire, no matter where you go around these parts. Whether you work the walls or you fight back against incursions against farmland, you are hired based on merit and how well you put down the threats around Ansham. Why don't you roll for me a 1d10 per character level to see how well you are paid for your efforts?
Come on, big money, no whammies. Okay, 6, modest. Like it.
6 gold? A modest living, but it would be enough if it wasn't for your need for challenge. Perhaps that is what drives you to the Eastern Gate while you count out your coins from the week or so of guarding. And you two are met by your companions and Lord Commander Hightower. But as you are receiving your rations, we have one last person to meet before we're ready to go. And that is played by the Wimpy Ranger. Welcome back. Always good to have players on the miss. Why don't you give yourself a brief introduction and tell us who you've brought to the table today?
I'm Wimpy Ranger. I played last year, one session, so this is a return, but been a while. I have brought Chordic Goobler. He is a forest gnome wizard. He had to leave his home, which was destroyed by aberrations, and he has been searching for answers ever since and researching the topic. Met up with Astroya, who had a similar sort of plights. And in town, I'm just helping better spellcasters with their organization and research, stacking potions and spell pearls.
Okay, absolutely. You have come, I guess, to the right place to seek knowledge. There's no stranger land in the world, and you have been helping others organize theirs. There is no shortage of need for someone with a good pen hand and a willingness to attack the ledgers. Why don't you roll me a 1d10 gold pieces per character level as well to see what you earn for your efforts. All right, 4 gold. Perhaps not as lucrative as manning the walls and fighting back incursions, but it is safer. And you're still paid. But nonetheless, you seek out further answers at the Eastern Gates, where Lord Commander Hightower hands out your rations as well. You will each start with 3 rations. This is the maximum number you can hold currently, as the strange magics of this land will tear them away from you, rotting them, spoiling water, etc. You have set your eyes eastward, I believe, towards a strange tower that is on the peninsula nearby where Ansham's boats landed. As you gather up for the day, you are granted 6 exploration points to use as you wish. And dawn breaks, the gate is opened, and the world is your oyster. Tell me, as we start our day here leaving the gates of Ansham, who is leading the party as you first embark away from town?
I think Astroya is striding forth. Can we start in this one down here? This.
I am sorry. Ping that again for me.
Like, is that a valid place to start?
Yes. Why not? We will call all 3 of these tiles right here Ansham proper. So yes, we can start in that tile should you desire.
All right, then I would like to carefully set forth towards this river.
I see. Want to move towards the river mouth? Oh, I see. You're moving around the coast, that direction. Perfect. If you would like to move carefully, it will cost you an extra exploration point going through the grasslands. And we also are moving through a river tile here, which will grant us a little bit extra penalty as well, bringing you up to 3 points in total spent. Tell me, how is it that you move so cautiously around the mouth of the cape, through the tall grasslands growing up to around your waists? You hear the gurgling of the river and the spray of the oceans behind you. How is it that you stealthily manage your party here?
I think it's as much about being, ever vigilant and identifying the threats before they've found us, as it is trying to be stealthy herself. Her leg and her, heavy armor that she's wearing have made that not a very feasible feat for her. So she's on the lookout and prowl and carefully, before moving, making sure and scanning that everything seems to be in place, that there's no easy points of attack from above them or anything like that.
All right. You cautiously step forward, scanning the skyline, scanning the grasslands, looking for whatever threat may come your way. As you do so, as you move the party along, you quickly move out of the surrounding farmlands of Ansham into these waving grasslands and around the around the horn of this coast here. As you do so, please roll me a D100 at -10 for your careful, safe guarding of the party, and see if we have an encounter for today.
79.
A 79! Very good. So, Estroya, you are marching through this grassland when you get a little too close to the coastline. You don't realize it at first because you are staring out at the skyline. You're studying the grasses, looking for predators, and you forget that danger is often closer to home than you might realize. The grasses here grow up high and thick, and they prevent you from noticing a sharp slope coming your way. You see a party member begin to fall. It is none other than Chober Goobler. He has stepped into the grasses where he expected firm rock, and he has begun to tumble and slide and fall down the cliffside that you are walking past. Tell me, how do you save your companion and the rest of your party from quickly succumbing to the same fate?
I think that I quickly try to grab and pull my friend back up to safety.
Mm-hmm. It is your quick, athletic chest, I suppose. You reach forward, grabbing him. You try to halt your own party members by grabbing them as well. Go ahead and roll me an athletics strength or an athletics dexterity, your choice. Your DC for this will be 13.
All right.
Oh, you reach as fast as you can. Maybe you just catch fingers and try to prevent your party from falling and pull them up, but it's just not enough. In fact, it forces you to tumble as well. Everybody slams into this rocky cliffside that was hidden by the grass as you tumble all the way down to the waters below. It is exhausting and tiring and painful as you make your way back up from the cliffside to the grasslands above where you wanted to be. I want each of you to mark one wound as you begin your journey. The cuts and broken bones and bruises from your fall marking you and your companions.
I would like to damage my armor in place of taking this wound.
Absolutely. Mr. Joke, as you are falling, tumbling, slamming into the cliffside, how is it that this armor breaking prevents you from taking this wound?
Oh, our bad joke here wears leather armor, and while he does indeed tumble on down, mere moments ago he was saying, "Oh, go on, lead the way, lest we're all swept away and led astray." Oh dear! As he just begins to tumble and duck and dive and very nimbly catch himself like a practiced acrobat. Yes.
All right, you catch yourself as a practiced acrobat, and somehow what I think you do is you kick off away from the cliffside, quickly ripping out of your breakaway leather armor, and then holding it up like a parasail. You float on down to the ground. You manage to only take a small bruise or two, but your armor is reduced by 1 effectiveness from your breakaway. If it goes down to an AC 10 or lower, it is considered destroyed.
I'm going to have to mend this. Looks on up to his party, falling and falling.
Estroya will also damage her armor as one of the sleeves of her ringmail catches on a rock or a plant as she tumbles down and rips off, but gives her enough time to regain her footing.
Exactly this happens. A sleeve of your mail gets ripped off. Please reduce the AC of your armor by 1. If it reduces to 10 or lower, it is considered destroyed. But this does arrest your fall. Are other 2 companions as lucky, or are they taking this full brunt of Estroya's poor judgment out in the grasslands?
I mean, I just got this armor, so I'm not going to let it break so easily. So
Fair.
I'll take the wound and
All right.
live to fight another day.
And I only have my 11 AC robe. I can't imagine losing that out in the wilderness, so...
All right. Despite the heroics you see from your companions to save themselves, you take the brunt of this folly and will take 1 wound. But you manage to drag yourselves back up to the mouth of this river after falling down a cliffside, and you successfully move into the hex here. 1 step closer to the building in the distance that you probably cannot see, but you know to be some miles away at this point. As you breast back up the top of the cliffside, you get to the mouth of this river. Who's taking lead for the next kind of phase of our adventure?
Any leader among us? Very well. I
Alright.
shall march us forward. Let me just mend this leather back together like the rest of my tatters.
A quick note on mending. While the mending spell will put the leather armor back together, there's something fundamentally changed in it by deciding to break it in this way. The leather will work as covering of your naked body, but it still retains the reduction in its armor class.
My question is, can I use it to break it in a similar fashion against a wound in the future?
No. Once it has been quote unquote destroyed, I'll let you cover yourself in it, but it is effectively
He has his
gone.
coverings.
Yeah.
Thanks for the clarification. And so, this bad joke of a party, this terrible punchline that we are slowly going to run our heads into this tower, will lead the way. They will be on the lookout.
Okay. So what are you?
Cautiously.
You're cautiously leading the way towards the tower, so you're going to move through the hex. All right, excellent. You are moving through grasslands. This will only cost you 2 points to move cautiously. And as you do so, tell me, what is your tact to a cautious move through these grasslands?
It is about moving silently, watching where you step, for if the sounds you make on the ground you tread is what gives away your position and your lives, then what point is it to travel at all? Better
Alright.
look down than look up.
All right. You
your
look
heads down,
down, making sure the party steps as quietly as possible so as not to give away their position. Please roll me a D100 on the encounter table at -10 for your careful disposition as you walk. And we'll see if you have an encounter along the way.
-2.
Oh, a -2. Very good. You are so far off of the table that it wraps back. No, I'm kidding. This is this is a calm day at this point. Despite your earlier fall from the cliffside, you manage to kind of mark where it ends and begins. It seems that your careful, studious, stealthy approach allows you to make it through without predators or other malcontents finding your location, and the party easily manages to traverse its way the 4 to 6 miles or so down the coastline to, I assume you're moving directly to this hex here? All right.
I will move us.
Excellent. As you arrive in this hex, it is fairly simple matter to find what you are looking for. There's no need to search out the large structure, as it is pretty clear and obvious once you begin getting in this area. There's a small kind of what was once cobbled but now overgrown stone road that disappears from time to time to age and muck or perhaps overgrown grasses, but eventually you clop your way along it until you find a large, almost abandoned looking lighthouse structure in the distance. The closer you get, the more you will see that the ruins of this lighthouse are like larger than you might expect of a lighthouse to be. It grows and grows, and to a size that suggests it might have been used for more than a simple lighthouse in the past. The closer you go to it, you find it to be a stone tower rising in stark relief of the rocky coastline. The lantern atop it long since lost to time, but the rest of the stone remaining largely intact, despite what you would assume to be the interior's exposure to the elements. The tower is large, as we said, and as you get close enough to approach it properly, you will find its entrance to be on a raised stone kind of veranda, a stone dais, so to speak, with steps leading up to it. Here you see a gargoyle-like statue, some probably 10 or 15 feet tall, holding a stone spyglass overlooking the stoop of this kind of stone veranda. There's also what appears to be some kind of astrolabe, or perhaps like chronosphere. There's a device. It was made of metal and stone. You aren't close enough to see it properly, but you know it to be rusted, broken. It doesn't appear to still retain its kind of working tradition. As you approach this scene, what do you as the party do?
Really quickly, I turn to my friend, the bad joke, say, "Batshit, you have to be careful." And I will touch them and give them vigilant blessing, giving them advantage on initiative rolls until they use it, or I use this ability again.
And just as you place a hand on the bad joke, so too does the bad joke place a hand on Esker. My friend, soldier, get ready to terminate this tower, as I will use Bardic Inspiration to give you a Bardic Inspiration for the next tower.
All right.
D6, okay.
Well then, shall we all get in formation and see what things there are there to fear? Or not?
No, I'll
You don't
cower
look
behind
afraid.
a warrior.
Okay. You cower behind the warrior. Do you approach the stone veranda with these figures upon it leading up to the entrance of this towering lighthouse? Or what is your approach? What do you plan to do, party?
Yeah, I think we have to approach it.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
You step forward atop of the veranda, the steps ringing beneath your booted feet, the sounds echoing out across the nearby cliff face leading down to the coast below. As each step echoes, you hear a slightly different sound beneath each of your footfalls, as if the steps themselves have been carved so that the echoes from them create a musical note. As you ascend further to the top of the veranda, you will see the astrolabe is indeed in disrepair, rusted through, its rings fallen on the ground around it, but the stone circle with the glyphs around the outside that would be used to navigate by the night sky are still intact, though they are of different origin than any you would be familiar with, even had you traveled long using the night sky itself. The other piece of information you find as you step on the veranda proper is you see a single key, bronze in nature, around a leather cord strapped around the gargoyle's neck.
That's convenient. Why don't one of you tall folk go up there and grab that?
I can boost you up.
Oh no, I'm very ground bound.
Yes, you are. Looks to the fighter. You look like a tough fellow. If worse comes to wear, I think we can. Nothing comes to mind, but certainly endure whatever comes.
He's going to draw his spear,
Mm-hmm.
Esper and take a defensive stance. This all seems really too easy. So, he's not approaching the gargoyle, but he's definitely taking a defensive posture.
You take your defensive posture upon the stone veranda. You consider what it might mean to take the key from the gargoyle as it stares blankly at you through its stone eyes. As of now, nothing seems overly amiss, but tension nonetheless seems to creep through the party.
So there's a door entering this large structure?
There's
here,
indeed. Perhaps it might be easier should you see said door. I have found sometimes maps are helpful, even in theater of the mind. As you will see from this map here, you are standing upon a stone veranda at the top of a cliffside here. The lighthouse's gate is in front of you. A single large door frame, similar gargoyle-like statue, in much smaller scope, sitting atop its apex. What lies inside you know not. Here lies our gargoyle, holding its stone spyglass key upon its neck, and here our ruined sextant, the musical stairs behind you.
Well, party, do we fear that the gargoyle will come to alive to eat us? It's made of stone, it can't eat us.
So you say.
Thanks. You've been reading too many stories. Just like leaving a key under the doormat, you just go grab it and let's let ourselves in.
Well, normally then you'd leave it in a hidden spot, not out in the open, surely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's hidden
Unless-
among the wilderness.
You want someone to take it.
Perhaps it's a public building. We're welcome here.
Perhaps the true key to this place is the sextant over there.
May I try to investigate the sextant?
Absolutely. How do you A, how do you go about investigating it? And B, what are you looking for?
I set my keen intellect to it and try to see how it moves about and if it's connected to any sort of mechanism.
All right. Yeah, you go to observe the metal sextant as best as you can. You see that it has like 4 to 5 rings upon it that have long since rusted, and many of which have fallen from place, kind of in a heap around the stone dais. There's a central like ball in the center with a staff, bronze staff driven through it, almost like a globe of some kind. As you would suggest, the rings were meant to be positioned around the ball, which spins around the staff. Beyond that, go ahead and give me a history intelligence check to perhaps try to decipher the usage of this thing.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Goobler, you studied well the night sky, and while the symbology on the stone dais is unfamiliar to you, you do recognize constellations that have slowly faded from the rusted metal rings. It seems that they were meant to be aligned with the current stars of the night sky. You look for mechanical operation, like kind of beneath it, gears and wires, and though you don't see any, you do know that there is a long history of astronomer sects throughout the Empire that have used markers in the night sky as keys or doorways. It is not inconceivable that it may open the door.
Well, I would like to do my best to set it up to match our current night sky, if I can do that.
You immediately come across a problem. The rings are old and rusted, many of which have fallen and broken. It seems that there would be some repair needed to this device before it could even be, like, used the way you would know it to be properly used.
Unfortunate.
Did anybody bring some WD-40?
I can certainly stitch a few errant tears back together.
Well, it's certainly a phenomenal device. We should try to get it working. Nothing else for its value.
All right. You propose to mend it with the mending spell. You can likely spend some number of hours mending the rusted rings, perhaps removing the tarnish, perhaps placing them back together. But simple magics like that will not automatically recreate them as they were. You'll need to be able to use your own skills and knowledge to place the rings. I suppose you can try to do this just on your own without a guide or skills of some kind. Do you have astrolabe manufacturing skill? What do you bring to the table to try to replicate what it was before?
This joke is...
just...
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
This joke is merely a performer. Their mending is entirely superficial.
Okay.
Like their humor.
He says sadly. Okay. Mr. Goobler, did you have an idea?
Well, having traveled, far through the, just use of the constellations, I mean, I think I can apply what I know there, and otherwise I would just learn through tinkering with it if, the party gives me enough time.
All right. Then I want 2 things. First, I want the mender to go to work. the bad joke. Please work your superficial magics to clean, or to stabilize, to make the pieces functional again. To do that, I would like for you to give me an Arcana check, DC 11, to make the items in working order. From there, I will want the Goobler to... I suppose I want some kind of manufacturing check. I don't know the best way to go about making that happen. Do you have some kind of tool proficiency, or is this just pure knowledge? This is just knowledge of the night sky.
That's all I'm working with, basically.
All you are working with, basically. Let's take a quick look at your skills here. I think that just knowing how this works, I think this is nature. The nature knowledge of the night sky and how to position things. It makes the most sense to me. I would like a nature intelligence check on a sliding DC, if you would.
Greg, you asked for an Arcana check, and as the nature of any bard's magic comes from their inherent charisma and force of personality, may I make that Arcana check using charisma?
Absolutely like an Arcana charisma check from you. Yes, please.
This plus 3.
All right. A 16. So, the bad joke spends some time, perhaps an hour or more, upon the stone veranda, slowly, inch by inch, using his mending skill to remove the tarnish from the rings, to replicate the symbols as exactly as he can from their faded remains, fixing the spherical ball so that it rotates once more in its socket, placing the rod, firmly in its socket, realigning the rings so that they are movable and working. And then the Goobler spends some time looking at the sky, remembering the time of year, remembering his study of it as he begins to spin these rings together. This is all taking some probably number of hours while these two work and maneuver this sphere into working order. What is Esker and what is Astroya doing during this time? Like, how do you spend your time while these two work?
To attenuate this? Apologies, friends. This is going to take quite a bit of time. Pondering one's orbs is a quite time-consuming task.
Okay.
I think Estroya is probably, being the ineffectual micromanager of these two. If somebody's really slacking off, I'll give them a 3 times volume yelling at, with thaumaturgy.
Okay. You Tom Sawyer the hell out of this production. Esker, do you do anything in particular?
Yeah, I mean, with a couple hours, yeah, for sure. I want to take a look at the statue here. Give it a really, since we're sitting here for a couple hours, a really good once over, and and see if I can determine if now is there a keyhole in the door, or is it just like a solid piece of
there sure
wood,
is
metal?
Yeah, it is a large stone door, and short enough there is a bronze keyhole right directly in the center of it.
Okay, I want to spend the hours both examining the gargoyle statue and see if I can determine if that key would in fact fit in the keyhole.
All right. At some point during your examination, you take a step towards the door to examine the keyhole closer, get a better look at it, think if it would fit. And out of the corner of your eye, as you step towards that door, you notice the gargoyle follow you. It steps in stride with you, in fact. You turn to look at it, and it seems just be sitting there, normally, holding its spyglass, but you're certain it moved, and Then you take another step, watching it, and it steps in stride with you, then stopping, waiting. But you get the impression that the closer you move to this door, this thing follows.
Okay. Can I determine whether or not it is? I think I probably don't know the answer, but if it is the intent, like insight on the gargoyle to see if it is malicious, playful, if it's like it's protecting the door, or if it's like curious of me moving towards the door, or motivation, I guess. Is what
I'm happy
looking
to
for.
let you have an insight roll there. Yeah,
Okay.
let's see how insightful you can be about this gargoyle's intentions.
Not much, but let's go ahead and
You
take
have that
look.
bardic.
I do, and I actually want to use it. What was it,
It's a
D6?
D6.
Alright, so 19.
A 19. The way it moves and the way it specifically follows you only when it seems you make a move towards the door. You are fairly certain that it seems to be protective of the lighthouse. You think
That's about
this
what I
is a guardian of some kind.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Do you leave it alone at that point and wait for the work
Yeah,
to be done?
I think so. I'm not
Okay.
looking to pick a fight just quite yet. I think we're working on the sexton right now.
Well, sure enough. Oh.
Go ahead. Yep.
Well, sure enough, after some hours, the sextant begins to come into place, and the Goobler is certain that they almost have it, and as they spin the sextant into its final position, it is, in fact, correct. The whole device begins to spin slowly, almost imperceptibly, but you are certain that now that it is aligned, it is tracking the very position of the stars. After a few moments, a small sound chimes out from the device at intervals, and a musical, melody fills the cavern, the atmosphere around you. As it does, I want each of you to take inspiration as hearing this melody of the stars fills each of you with positive energy. The vibes are immaculate and you are feeling great about life, the universe, and everything. And as it hits its crescendo, the ball drops into the stand it is upon, and you hear a click, Esker, from the door itself, as it begins to swing open, and you can just peer inside the darkened hall.
Okay, everyone. Get over here real quick. And I will use my Eyes of the Night to grant everyone in the party 300-foot dark vision.
Okay. You grant a dark vision to peer into this darkened room. And I suppose you peer into the lighthouse itself, yes? From there, I suppose you will see a little bit of the interior. Across the threshold, you see a winding central staircase in the center of the tower, leading to the upper floors and what would be the ruined lantern above. Around this stone staircase, you see a scattering of various rotting bookshelves in states of extreme disrepair. And shelves along the far wall you catch just a glimpse of seem to hold ruined tools, and there are fading rugs or parchments or something hanging from the walls of the interior of the lighthouse.
Estroya turns to Goobler and says, "The horror, little turkey, all this lost knowledge."
I start gathering it up just impulsively. rifling through the scrolls.
Ah, you go inside of the tower. You go to step through the threshold, and as you do, you feel a pressure kind of around you. Goobler, you step through no problem. There is nothing preventing you from going through, but as you do, the gargoyle comes to life. As it seems to be triggered by you entering the lighthouse, and the rest of your companions see it turn to them and size them up, ready to throw down. I want each of you to roll me initiative.
Gladly.
Question is,
I've
do
been
I even
looking
notice
forward to
that?
this.
I don't know, Goobler. I will let you decide whether or not you roll into initiative, or if you are just starstruck by the items inside the tower.
It would certainly make sense if I go last in the first round.
Sure. I'm going to go ahead and take your token and move it right in the doorway here as this battle starts.
I have advantage. 14 for me.
You did have advantage. Look at you go. Let's see here. I have Esker, Joke, Estroya. I do not have the Gargoyle, which rolled a 10. Let's add that in, I suppose. Let me try rolling that again, and then I'll move it to a 10. Or I'll just roll a 10 again. Perfect.
Fantastic.
Esker,
I
Excellent.
love it.
you've been eyeing this gargoyle. You've been waiting for it to make its move. It makes sense
Absolutely.
that you are the first to react as it springs to life, wielding its spyglass like a club. What do you do?
Well, okay. Gosh, I don't think I've ever gone first before. This is new for me. Gosh. Okay, so let's go 5, 10, 15, 20. All right, let's get up in his business here. And I'm going to let's use my spear for right now. 12.
All right, you leap forward with spear in hand and lash it towards the stone figure. Unfortunately, its stonework is still immaculate. Your spear scrapes across the chest of this would-be gargoyle, and it just slides by harmlessly. Not even a speck of stone falls to the ground beneath it.
Oh, okay. I was afraid of that. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and do Second Wind for bonus action for 2.
Should be
Question.
Yes.
Before you spend that second wind, did you
Yeah.
take damage?
I have a wound.
Okay, so if we remember the mechanics, if you need, there's a handout, I believe, in the player
Yeah.
handouts for.
Yes.
I don't believe it's in combat. It might be
okay.
in travel
Got
and
it.
resting.
Okay. Yep.
So wounds
Right.
actually
Yep.
reduce your maximum number of hit points instead
Got it.
of taking away your current hit points.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I do see that now. My
Yeah.
apologies.
No
Okay.
worries. No
Withdrawn.
worries.
Withdrawn. I'm gonna go ahead actually instead and do merge with my merge with stone special. I'm gonna cast Blade Ward on myself.
All right.
So
All right, you merge with stone, feeling your body kind of take on the qualities of the very marble slabs upon which you are standing as you ward yourself against damage. Estroya, you see your companion strike this creature ineffectually with a spear, and it comes to you. What will you do?
Just as a note, this initiative is out of order still, I think. The bad
Is
joke
it?
should be up here with me.
Oh, why is it out of order still? All right.
Roll that
Okay,
advantage.
Estroya, it still amounts largely to the same thing. You and the bad joke are acting simultaneously here. What do you guys do?
This is our time. This will be our triumph. Go forth and show your defiance. I will run up to Esker and cast heroism on him.
Excellent.
And then, in those words alone, he is inspired once more, not just by the crescendo of that song of the sky, but by the words of his companion behind him.
All right. You imbue him with the bardic song to inspire him further and increase his hit points. With song ringing in your companion's ears and a retreat happening. Estroya, what are you doing during this?
So a slight glow of pinkish purple appears in Estroya's black eye as she casts Fairy Fire.
Oh, very nice.
On the creature, attempting to drown it in a pale, pinkish glow.
All right, very good. The creature will attempt to save, of course, and it does so. It's very earthen magics, like kind of crawling up from the stone it finds its feet planted on, like help it duck out of the way and deflect the fairy fire around it.
And I would like to enter the tower.
Okay. You may do so. Goobler, you and the gargoyle are going at the same time. Are you in this battle? What are you doing this round?
Yeah, I just feel like the first round I'm distracted to the point where like I would go last, like a surprise round kind of thing.
Sure, we can make that happen for sure. In that case, the gargoyle shall go, and the gargoyle has been attacked, but the gargoyle knows its job. It races past you, Esker. If you would like to make an attack of opportunity with your spear, you absolutely can.
You're absolutely right, I am.
Yeah, please do so.
23.
23 does strike true. As it turns away from you, you sink your spear into its back like clay, dealing 10 points of damage. Excellent. Oop, that was unexpected. Doing that much damage to it. All right. As you pull your spear out, it charges by almost unconcerned by you, and it races up to the doorway or even inside of it as necessary to lunge itself at Estroya and perhaps even the Goobler, as it will multi-attack you. It says claws, but it doesn't actually slash at you with gargoyle claws. It takes the stone spyglass it was holding in its hand and wields it like a club to smack at you. The first is a 10. I do not believe that will hit you, Estroya.
Nope.
But it will lash out one more time with its spyglass. This time with a 16. Will that hit?
That hits.
All right, Estroya, please take from me 6 bludgeoning damage from the gargoyle's strike.
As Estroya stumbles back under the force of the blow.
Okay. Goobler, I think this is a perfect opportunity for you to be alerted to the fact that a large gargoyle has burst in here with you and tried to hit your companion. Does this arouse you at the end of the round?
It certainly does. I'm disappointed, that my quest for knowledge is interrupted by these kind of base combat.
Oh.
I will fire off some magic missiles.
Excellent. You fire off some magic missiles. You get to fire 2 more, correct?
Yep.
All right. Go ahead and give me...
I thought if I clicked the thing, it would do it all, but...
Yeah, I don't... Roll 20 is a little awkward that way.
And then...
2.
And then plus
Plus
2 to
two,
that. Oh my goodness, 11 points of damage. Your missiles thud into this creature. Boom, boom, boom. Like pieces of earth and stone fall from it. And you bring it... I don't know why it keeps doing that. Okay, we're going to just do math then. That would be this much HP. Nope. Alright, we're just gonna do this the old-fashioned way. You bloody the creature at the end of your assault. Alright. Esker, the round comes back around to you as you see this gargoyle like battering on your friends inside the lighthouse. What do you do?
And its back is turned toward me, right?
It is, yeah.
Okay. So I am going to begin to sprint and almost like Conan jump with my spear and just like try to lodge it in his back.
All right.
Right there. And then, let's see, that'll be one-handed. All right, 22.
22? Did you roll?
Oh, my apologies.
I didn't
talked to
see
myself
it.
On. Yeah, it would. Man, I'm gonna roll it again. I was on talk to myself. I apologize. I'm gonna roll it
Oh,
again.
okay.
It's not gonna. It's not gonna.
I
know
see.
it's not going
Okay.
to.
Well then, I will let the 22 stand. That's fine.
Okay.
Just toggle that if you can.
I gotta back off.
No worries. All
I was
right.
messing with stuff on my sheet.
Your
Okay.
spear sinks through, just like you imagined, flying through the air like Conan. You drive your spear into it. How much damage do you roll?
It was 11.
11 more points of damage. My goodness. You strike it true. Bringing it down a little further. You see it stumble forward, your spear lodged in its back. As you pull it out, there's like a crevasse, like you've struck through like clay itself. It does not look like it is ready to fall over and die just yet, but you have struck it a strong blow. The bad joke, you're watching this this flight through the air after your attack, your inspirational speech. What do you do next?
Hey, break like a stone and crumble. And viciously mock it.
Okay, you viciously mock this creature. You find your mockery of its, makeup to be very effective. Like its ear that was firmly attached a little bit ago, just like falls off and smashes into the stone on the ground underneath it as it hears your challenge. This does, in fact, bring the creature to death's door.
That's my turn.
Estroya, as this mockery is happening, you are acting as well. What do you do?
There's a flash of golden light in my other eye as a sacred flame descends on this thing from the sky for 1 whole radiant damage.
Oh, a flash of radiant light alights the darkened features of this lighthouse. But the creature is not affected by it. Once again, protecting itself from your magics.
Right, I don't think I really have anything to do with bonus action, so I'm chilling.
All right. Goober, you and the gargoyle are going to act at the same time. What do you do as it begins to swing its club-like spyglass?
I think I'd like to melt it back down with an acid splash.
Ooh, excellent. You toss your acid splash. I believe that's a dex save. Yar? Yar.
Dexterity.
It successfully strikes the creature. A single point of acid damage begins to melt its clay-like features a little bit further. And as that melt is happening down its face, this twisted, featureless gargoyle now strikes out at you once more, Estroya, with its club-like spyglass, which it will do so at disadvantage the first time from its vicious mockery.
Mm-hmm.
All right, its first swing comes crashing down with a 13. Will that hit you?
That's a miss.
That is a miss. It slams into the ground.
Deflected off of my shield.
Oh, deflected right off of your shield. It's a little imbalanced from its inner ear injury. And then it rights itself, acid flowing down its face, and strikes once more. Also with a 13, also deflecting off of your shield. Esker, it comes around to you as it beats upon your ally's shield. What do you do?
All right. Well, it's working so good so far. So let's go ahead and just keep wailing it with the spear.
All right.
Uh,
Oh!
25.
You critically strike this creature. Tell me, how is it that your spear brings this beast down, slaying the gargoyle threat?
Well, as he is raising his claw, I'm gonna go straight underneath him, like slide, and then up with my spear, just straight through his neck. Up like an up thrust through his neck.
Perfect. He raises his spyglass-like club up. The spear slips through its neck. Its featureless, acid-splashed face goes even more featureless. It falls into a clump of stonework, splashing down around you like liquid clay. And the fight ends. And you find yourselves standing inside this dark lighthouse.
Just to disturb that creature.
You're right. It was my fault.
Well,
Little turkey. I will be more careful next time.
try to stay focused. That's all right.
As the gold light in my golden eye dims a little bit, and I will use healing hands on myself to heal exactly 2 HP because I rolled really bad.
Excellent. You heal some HP back from the clubbing that you took. Goobler, you were the first one to cross this passageway, and I think that you have at least spent some time investigating. And so, you will see the following things. Of course, that central staircase in the center of the tower, it is made of stone, much like the stone you saw outside. Each stair, seemingly built a slightly different than the one before it, each leading up and up into the ceiling above, winding around the center. The floor that you are on here has scattered rotting bookshelves, as we said before. Some are in better shape than others. Some are in quite a state of disrepair. There are shelves in kind of an orderly row along the closest walls of this lighthouse. And upon these are metal tools that seem to be broken and in some cases even shattered. A quick inspection of them reveals to you that these are astronomers' tools. Much like the large astrolabe outside, these were the tools of the trade for astronomers. Many of them are quite ancient, and some purpose you don't even recognize yourself. The tapestries that you spied through the doorway are in fact fading star maps hung along the back walls. They seem to depict night skies that you are largely unfamiliar with, though that could just be the faded state and disrepair that they have. And finally, there is a doorway behind the central staircase, leading down as if to a area beneath the great lighthouse itself. The door is pure black, and has no handle or locking mechanism that you can find, and depicts upon its black surface in etchings a sky full of strange stars with a comet streaking through them. And this is what the party is presented with inside the first floor of the lighthouse.
I think that's Goobler's interest in astronomy has been piqued, and I'd like to maybe collect some of the artifacts, tools of the trade, and just,
Yeah, you go through the shelves looking for the tools and the kind of broken vials and things that were collected upon them. You may pick up some old astronomer's tools if you would like to add them to your character sheet. There are enough functioning and in good enough repair things, with perhaps a little mending from your friends, they can be functional. But in addition, you find 150 gold pieces worth of essentially valuables from these broken and scattered remains of tools. These are metals that can be melted down and turned into other things, or perhaps particularly valuable stone or glasswork, things that you can bring back to town and sell for money, so to speak. As you investigate the shelves, I would also like for you to give me a perception check. Perception wisdom, if you would. That is a 9. That is all that you find amongst these shelves.
All right. I'm happy with what I found.
Excellent. Is there... What else are the rest of you doing, I suppose, as you find yourself in this strange, darkened room?
Look at this big black door right here. It goes down for certain,
Mm-hmm.
but there's no way down. But my intuition tells me I think it's waiting for a certain star to be flying in the sky before it'll open up.
That was the missing star.
These stars are not the stars of our sky.
Have you studied?
Of course.
Hmm.
If you are to defend against that which lies beyond, you must know of these things.
Well then, it seems an errant star, or meteor, or light in the sky will soon be coming down, or not at all. This could have been as old as time itself.
A very foreboding door. What kind of door has no handle? I don't know what to make of that.
Greg, I'd like to carefully study these stars and see if anything in my study in my religion of the things that lie beyond would give me any idea of, like, is this the sort of thing I've seen related to, like, aberrations or anything of that sort?
Absolutely. In fact, I don't even want you to roll. You spend some time investigating these, and you just happen to worship a religion of protection against things beyond the stars. You've been in churches, sacrilegious ones that worship these things. You've seen cults and cultists, and sure enough, these are definitely similar. They do not remind you of any one particular cult or any one particular text that you have seen before, but these are indeed the heretical formations. These are indeed star patterns and celestial bodies far beyond the night sky and the things that lay between.
Whoever sealed this door must have been a worshipper or studier of those things far beyond. I know not if it's a good idea to leave it untread, for someone more malicious or less fit may come by and open.
But even still, this is a foul, dangerous place for us to be. You have to give it its due respect.
We should be well prepared before we do anything with it, I agree. If I recall, Greg, there's also a set of stairs going upwards?
The central staircase does indeed lead up into the floor beyond.
Maybe we should see what the rest of this facility has to say. We have no way to open the door as of now, beyond simply trying to push the doors free.
I think that's a decent idea.
Well, as for the door, I have no suggestions. But upstairs, I'm sure we will find some more tensions.
All right.
I think I missed it about the door. Is there? It's just a solid piece of stone. There's nothing.
It is a black
No
door.
keyhole, no.
Seems to be entirely jet black. If it is stone, it is of a different stone than the rest of the tower. It is inset kind of at a slant in the ground, leading to what would essentially be like a basement, perhaps, of the lighthouse, something beneath. It has no hinges, no, like, handle, no, like,
Keyhole, anything.
Keyhole. It is simply a black kind of etched mural, but yeah, I don't know. That is what you see.
Perfect.
Okay. It is decided, I suppose, that you ascend the stairs.
Quickly, Clayman, do you want to take the key off of Stoneman? I don't know if we'll need it or if it just goes to the front door.
I think that'd be a wise idea.
All right.
And I'll take the
Sure enough, in the
key from around
muddy, clay-like remains of the creature, there is a leather cord that you pull up, and a bronze key hangs upon it.
Okay. I'll put it around my neck.
Okay. Excellent.
And then stuff the key inside my ring mail.
They won't even be able to tell anything's changed.
All right.
Good one.
The party begins to ascend the steps around the spiral staircase. And with each step that you take, your boots ring out an echo, and each stair is made to give a different note. The sounds play as you go, discordant and shuffling and ringing through your ears, but nonetheless musical. This goes on for some time as you scale the single flight of stairs around the central staircase to the floor above. As you climb this laboratory step, these stairs, you will see yourself surrounded by what must be a laboratory of some kind. The open roof above, where the lantern was, is broken in many places, allowing the elements to kind of seep through. Water drips from this broken ceiling and pools in, like, uneven locations throughout the floors. Here, from this, like, dripping pools, you see crystalline structures glowing in the low light. Your dark vision allowing that to catch more fully, kind of brightening the whole area around you. These glowing formations immediately kind of catch the eyes of the more arcane inclined among you, as these are shimmerstone, crystals of magical properties that hold the arcane weave inside them. There is such a collection of large formations here, you are certain that they could be harvested and returned to Ansham. You also notice that this laboratory is full of broken glass, rusted equipment, and shattered tables scattered about this wet and moldy floor. It seems as if they were scattered about and broken, not by like a wind, but by some kind of creature. And sure enough, due to the preparations that you have made, the glow of the shimmerstone catches shadows moving throughout the laboratory, quick and sneaky like. They bounce about. It's hard to get an exact number of them as you step through. Estroya, you in particular, catch a glimpse of one of them. A mad face, caught in a constant, smiling sneer, eyes wide, and fangs of teeth. You have fought these before, creatures from beyond the stars. As you enter fully into this room, the creatures begin to coalesce walk forward towards you. They think they're in the dark. They think that they are stealthy and unnoticed. I don't know why my stream has not changed. Hold on. Give me technical difficulties here.
Technical difficulties.
Looks like it completely froze.
They look just like you, batshit.
The stream is completely frozen, and why is that?
A bit more worse for wear.
Oh. Okay, let's find out what's going on here.
Oh.
Why is my icon not going up?
I am going
goodness.
to just do this really quick. I think I'm gonna have to restart some things. I don't even know.